Let's look into bar graph, also known as bar chart. So as a definition we have this, and as list of characteristics we have this, and as a procedure we have this. I would be talking about the bar graph or bar chart with an example rather than talking about it as a list of words, right, sentences. It's better that we understand with an example. So first thing is, for any graph we need the axes, right, x and y axis to begin with. And now let's start with the procedure. Decide on the bar width. To decide on the bar width, we have to look into the head, that is, this is known as variable, and this is known as values. So we have to look at the number of items. So we have 3, 3, 7. So let's look into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we just have enough space to keep the class width to be a centimeter. So here we are taking up the class width to be a centimeter for this example. It need not be a centimeter all the time. For this particular example, we're taking up it to be 1 centimeter. Decide on the y-axis scale. So scale depends on the values, and the lowest is 1 and the highest is 5. So the range is 4. 1 to 5, so the range will be 4. So we have quite a long line. So for every 2 centimeter we can take 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, and plus 1. And here we will have, after this, what do we have? Draw the data. So for every scale we'll be writing about the scale in the graph itself. So let me draw the data over here. So for first thing is the grocery, that is of length 4. And the next one is rent, that's of length 5. Then education is also 5. Then medicine, that's 2. Then fuel, that's also 2. Then entertainment is 1, and miscellaneous is 1. So this is your variable and values. Okay, so we draw on the data, then label each bar. That is, we have to write that, this bar is grocery, this bar is rent, this bar is education, this bar is medicine, this bar is fuel, entertainment, and miscellaneous. To make the bars pop out, you can just put few lines. Don't shade it too much. You can, not that you can't, you can make designs in this bar, but all that is not advisable. Just a decent small design like this, that's good enough. Okay, then we labeled each bar, label the axis. Oh, by the way, there are many ways of labeling the bar. If you see different ways, everything is right. We just have to label them. You can write it vertically, you can write it over here, they'll write slant and all of that. There are many variations. So this is representing heads, and this is representing expenditure in 1000, expenditure in rupees 1000. Okay, and last thing is write about the scale. So here we need to write about the scale. So we have y-axis, 1 centimeter is rupees 500. So that's your scale. So this is your graph in entirety. Okay, so let's look at the characteristics. Bar graph are good to show when the data is categorized. Categorized is something like this. So we have different things, right? They are not interlinked. They are interlinked under a one heading, but the values are not interlinked. Generally on the x-axis, it depicts the variable. That is, you can go with y-axis also. That you guys have to remember. Same thing, I can flip this around and you get a graph like this. Even that is possible. So that is your horizontal or vertical. I don't know what is the name. So that is possible. And values of the variable are shown on the other axis, that is your y-axis, right? You can see the values over here. So you can write the values like this also. There is a possibility 2 to 1 1. And bars are of uniform width and bars have equal spacing between them. So uniform width is this. Can you see that? These are of each 1 centimeter width, and the gap between them is also fixed. See, the thickness can be anything. It can be 2, this can be 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All have to be 2. Well, the gap can be 1, 1, 1, 1. So there is no fixed value for both as a whole. There is no fixed value between them. Right? So the width can be anything and the gaps can be anything. In this case, we happen to take 1 centimeter. But if I had a chance, I could have taken 2 also. But the gap between the bar can be 1. So that such variation is okay. Bars have equal spacing. Okay. So these are your general characteristics and procedure. Nothing serious, but yes, main thing is you should not miss anything in a graph. So when I tell things, I mean scale, labeling your bars, then along the y and x axis, what are the things. So these are all the things that we should keep in mind. Okay, so let me end the video by showing you guys how do you put, or can we generate a bar graph out of a code? Yes, we can. Please understand that here the data is not typed over here, it is in a file and we are reading from that file and showcasing it over here. So it's something like this. Can you see that? It's the same data, almost same. I've typed in the last value wrong. So can you see this? Right, it's the same thing. I could have gone a bit more specific and labeled X. Instead of X label, I could have labeled heads, and this as expenditure, and heading I have put family expenditure, title that is. So I put in the title. So you can do that. So yes, this is possible. And if you look at it properly, it's the same thing. Can you see that the bar width is big and the gap between them is small, but all the gaps are of same size and the bar width is same for all. So there's no relationship between the gap between the bars and the bar width. So that is something that you guys have to keep in mind. Right? Again, try to understand, there's nothing much to copy. But yes, in a graph, you need to have title, if possible, scale, expenditure, head, and yeah. So these are all the things that you need to have.